And at number 10, no BIPOC winners. With diversity being the forefront of most award shows these days, many were shocked to learn that not one person of color won any of the major acting awards at the event. Only few people of color won any awards in general, leading the hashtag #EmmySoWhite to trend. During the 3-hour ceremony led by Black host Cedric the Entertainer, it took 2 hours for a person of color to be recognized. That win was for RuPaul Charles and his RuPaul's Drag Race team for Outstanding Competition Program. That win also made RuPaul break the record for the most Emmy wins by a person of color. Many actors of color were favored to win some of the major awards, but the wins never came. And at number 9, The Handmaid's Tale Biggest Loser. The series, based on the best-selling novel by Margaret Atwood, was nominated for a whopping 21 Emmys this year, which isn't really a shock as the show gets recognized at the Emmys each year, and the show has won a total of 15 primetime Emmys overall. But this year the show broke a record that no show ever wants to win, and that's the record for the most Emmy losses in one single night. Although the show had 21 nominations in total last night, it did not win one single award. The show actually beat the previous record held by Mad Men, which was nominated for 17 awards but won none of them. And at number 8, Seth Rogen's COVID rant. Seth Rogen was the first presenter of the night, and he walked on stage cracking jokes like usual. In his monologue, he decided to call out the award show for not being COVID safe. He said in part, quote, "There are way too many of us in this little room. They told me this was outside. Why is there a roof? What are all you people doing?" Adding, quote, "I went from wiping my groceries to having Paul Bettany sneeze in my face." Some felt that he could just be joking, but since he made a point to talk about it for so long, many felt he was genuinely concerned. The night's DJ, Reggie Watts, then had to reassure viewers after the commercial break that CBS was in fact following all recommended health and safety protocols, and all attendees had to be vaccinated along with showing a negative COVID test. And at number 7, WandaVision flop. WandaVision was one of the standout shows this year and brought tons of attention to the lead actress, Elizabeth Olsen. The show was up for 8 primetime Emmys and did not win a single one. The show was nominated for a slew of other awards at the Creative Arts Emmys from earlier this month and won 3 awards in total. The show received a total of 23 nominations overall and was primed to win 2 big acting awards. Both Kathryn Hahn and Paul Bettany were heavily tipped as the favorites in their categories for limited series drama, but they lost out to other shows like The Queen's Gambit and I May Destroy You. And at number 6, Andrew Cuomo. So this one didn't actually take place at the Emmys last night, but before last night's Emmys, the organization decided to revoke the award they gave to former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo in 2020. Last year when the coronavirus was ravaging New York, Cuomo became a rising star in American politics, and many felt they could trust him to take care of the pandemic. That's why the Emmys awarded him with the International Emmy Founders Award for Effective Communication and Leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic. But then scandal unfolded, and it was revealed that he had sexually intimidated and harassed at least 11 women, along with another scandal involving the placement of COVID patients in nursing homes. All of this combined caused Cuomo to resign as governor on August 10th of 2021, and then by the end of that month, the Emmys revoked the award. Halfway at number 5, Nicki Minaj. Although the Emmys tried to remain apolitical this year, the recent scandal involving Nicki Minaj was too hard to pass up, and the host made a controversial joke about the rapper. Right after the opening number, the host Cedric the Entertainer commented, quote, "We had to get vaxxed to come. I got vaxxed. I did not have a reaction like Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend," clearly referencing a viral tweet where Nicki claimed her cousin's friend's testicles swelled up because of the vaccine. That was not the only vaccination comment either. Ken Jeong did a skit where he's held up by a guard outside the Emmy venue to show proof of vaccination, clearly showing just how top of mind it is. And at number 4, Stephen Colbert's recall joke. The most partisan joke of the night was told by late night host Stephen Colbert, who mocked the fact that California recently had a recall election for their governor Gavin Newsom. He said, quote, "First I have the results of the special recall election for the 2018 Emmy for Outstanding Comedy," joking that the winner of the 2018 award, The Marvelous Miss Maisel, could actually be given to the Marvelous Miss Larry Elder following a recall. Larry Elder is a reference to the Republican candidate who was the favorite to win if Newsom was recalled. Colbert finished off saying, quote, "And it only cost California $275 million. And at number 3, Netflix won the night. Netflix swept the award show last night, with the streaming service nabbing 44 awards total in 2021, the most of any network. The network not only dominated, but it won more than double the total number of awards of its nearest competition, which was HBO and HBO Max, who won 19 awards in total. The streaming service won most of its awards because of the hit show The Crown, as well as limited series The Queen's Gambit. Netflix has been pushing to dominate the awards every year since 2018, and it's usually behind HBO, however that was not the case in 2021. In at number 2, A Never-Ending Speech. The Queen's Gambit was one of the shows that swept the awards, and the show's director and writer, Scott Frank, won the award for Outstanding Directing for a limited or anthology series or movie. But his speech is what really made waves because it was so darn long. The speech was roughly 2 minutes, which is way more than the strict 45-second slot that the award winners were given. The speech was so long, the wrap-up music played not once, but twice, and Frank savagely told them to turn off the music during his speech. At one point when they started playing the music, he responded, quote, "Really?" and just kept talking. Many online found the long speech hilarious, while others thought it was rude and disrespectful to the other winners. And finally, number 1, The Fly. I'm sure you all remember the viral fly that landed on Mike Pence's head during the VP debate in 2020. Well, the Emmys did not forget it either, and planned a whole sketch around the hilarious moment. In the sketch, the host Cedric released the fly into the wild and told him, quote, "Alright buddy, this is it, do your thing and get out, no shenanigans." But of course, the fly ended up landing on Pence's head, or as he called it, Cloud 9. This joke got backlash for a few reasons, but most people just didn't think it was funny and thought it was way too old of a joke to be used at the 2021 award show. The fly also shouted at one point, quote, "All flies matter," as it flew off, which many found insensitive to the Black Lives Matter movement. Personally, anything that makes me remember any part of 2020 is just something I just do not want to see during an award show. Let's just all forget that year existed.
At number 10, Streaker. Like I mentioned before, the Met Gala is one of the most prestigious events of the year. Image is everything when it comes to the gala, and there's a lot of effort that's put into making sure that things go smoothly. So when there's any kind of hiccup, then things go south pretty quickly. Take for example one unruly quote-unquote guest who was not invited to the event, but who showed up anyway. At the 2014 Met Gala, everyone got quite the shock when a man wearing a hot pink mankini and gold chain ran through the event. He really tried to come in hot there, but since this was such a high-profile event, every precaution was taken and the man was stopped and barely even reached the red carpet. This event has so much security because you never know who's going to do what, so luckily there were enough staff to clue in to watch what was going on and stop it before things got too out of hand. This streaker, who remains unidentified, still got his 15 seconds of fame though, so I guess maybe he's happy enough with that experience. At number 9, the Kardashians. Apparently the Kardashians are banned from a lot of Hollywood events, like the Oscars for example, and for a while there, they were also unwelcome at the Met Gala. Though they are obviously welcome there now, that's only because they got the plug from Kanye. Anna Wintour, the editor-in-chief of Vogue, apparently had something against the Kardashians and even went so far as to call them the quote, "antithesis of fashion and class," end quote. Sassy. She allegedly banned them from attending the Met for years, and being a prominent trustee and financial holder at the Metropolitan Museum of Art where the function is held, her ruling stuck, at least until Kanye came into the picture. Apparently Anna and Kanye are very good pals, so once Kanye came into the Kardashian family, Anna couldn't refuse him, and so she allowed the Kardashians entry. Some thought that since Kanye and Kim aren't together anymore, that Anna would take back the Kardashians' invitation, but I guess maybe they've entered into Anna's good graces since then. Now before I carry on talking about these celebrity scandals, I would like to first take a moment to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, because it really helps the channel out. At number 8, cultural appropriation. Every year the Met Gala has a chosen theme, and the people who attend the event are urged to show up in some kind of couture that fits said theme. For a lot of celebrities, they work alongside some pretty prestigious designers to come up with the perfect look for the gala, but sometimes they can go too far and end up offending people in the process. Take for example some of the Met Gala looks from 2015. The theme of the gala that year was quote, "China through the looking glass," and a lot of people found that many of the stars who attended the event that night were appropriating Chinese culture. Many fans took to the internet to criticize a lot of the looks from that night, saying that too many of them fell into Chinese stereotypes and appropriated much of the culture and history. Among one of the most heavily criticized celebrity looks was Sarah Jessica Parker's headpiece, which was criticized for its quote, "dragon lady" stereotype. A lot of fans made the point that these celebrities could have just worn pieces from Chinese designers to fit the theme rather than appropriate the culture. At number 7, influencers. The Met Gala is such a high-profile event that you have to be personally invited in order to attend. Well, I mean, you have to be invited and pay roughly 30 grand to attend, but it's still a very prestigious event. Or at least that's what people used to think about it anyway, because there are those who say that in recent years the exclusivity of the Met Gala has really decreased ever since influencers have started getting invited to the event. In recent years, influencers like Liza Koshy and James Charles have been in attendance, and at this year's gala, social media stars like Addison Rae, Dixie D'Amelio, and Madison Beer walked the red carpet at the Met. A lot of people don't consider these internet personalities and influencers as celebrities, and so they don't see them as welcome at huge Hollywood events like this. But what is your take on this? Do you think that internet celebrities should be welcome at events like these? And if not, where do we draw the line on who can and can't come? Is the question of how did you get famous going to become a criteria for events like these? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. At number 6, Naked Box Man. Basically every year at the Met Gala, bold fashion statements are being made. We have people dressing like Dementors, like Kim K did at the event this year. We have people wearing political statements on their clothes, and they even have people bringing insane props with them on the red carpet. But back in 2017, one person made too bold a statement and actually got kicked out of the event because of it. An artist by the name of Fyodor Pavlov Andreevich was going to attend the Met and decided to be extra bold with his quote-unquote look and decided to get naked and stuffed in a fiberglass box. Upon arriving at the event, 2 people carried the artist inside the box into the event's checkpoint, and that's really as far as they got there. One of the guards told them that they had to take the artist away, and they later put a sheet over the box and dragged him away while he was still in the box. Authorities were soon called and the police asked the artist to exit the box, to which he refused, so they arrested him, charged him, and threw him in jail. Really, the takeaway from this is don't be too bold at the Met, and most importantly, wear clothes. It is a fashion event. You can't go to a fashion event without the fashion part. At number 5, Tina Fey. The Met Gala isn't for everyone, and that's okay. Not everyone has to be into the whole idea of wearing funky clothes while walking around with other high-profile celebrities. One person who really isn't into all that, it seems, is Tina Fey, because she once had some harsh words for the event. Tina was invited to the Met Gala back in 2010, but apparently she didn't have a very good time. 5 years later, she opened up about the experience while doing an interview with David Letterman. In the interview, Tina ranted about the gala, calling it a quote, jerk parade. She also went on to say, quote, every jerk from every walk of life is there wearing some stupid thing. It's just everybody. If you had a million arms, it's all the people you would punch in the whole world, end quote. It's a little harsh, but I guess it's kind of valid. At number 4, Lena Dunham. Celebrity beefs are nothing new. Everyone has beef with everyone, but it turns out that at one point a celebrity feud happened at the Met Gala, and it caused some controversy and scandal at the time. At the Met Gala in 2016, Lena Dunham ended up making some comments about Odell Beckham Jr. and it caused a bit of a stir. Dunham alleged that the football player spent the whole evening ignoring her because she, quote, didn't fit his standard of woman, end quote. Speaking out about the way that she believed she was being treated by Odell, Lena went on to say, quote, it was so amazing because it looked like he looked at me and he determined I was not the shape of a woman by his standards. It was like we were forced to be together, and he was literally scrolling Instagram rather than to have to look at a woman in a bow tie. I was like, this should be called the Metropolitan Museum of Getting Rejected by Athletes, end quote. But none of that was actually true though. Odell wasn't trying to be rude, he was just kind of existing while at the event, and Lena just made assumptions. She got called out for her quote, narcissistic comments and later issued an apology for them. At number 3, Demi Lovato. Speaking of beefing with celebrities, we have another story about some drama that caused someone so much discomfort that they literally had to leave the Met. Back in 2016, Demi Lovato was in attendance at the Met Gala, but they didn't end up staying for the whole event. Demi spoke out about how uncomfortable they were that evening, saying that someone was so rude to them that they had to leave the gala and go to an AA meeting. Demi told sources that, quote, this one celebrity was a complete B-word and was miserable to be around. It was very cliquey. I remember being so uncomfortable that I wanted to drink, end quote. Now, no one knows for sure who this B-word that Demi was talking about was, but a lot of people seem to believe that it was Nicki Minaj because of a photo that was posted that shows Demi giving Nicki some serious side-eye. There was clearly some kind of drama going on, but other than how Demi was feeling, we don't have many other details as to what happened that night. At number 2, smoking. In most establishments, there's a rule against smoking. I mean, back in the day, apparently you could just smoke everywhere and anywhere, but not these days. That rule isn't really anything new, but there are still those select few who choose to disregard that and do it anyway. This is how a scandal was caused at the Met Gala in 2017. A handful of celebrities who attended the gala that year were caught smoking in the venue's bathroom, and that was a serious no-no. Every year, the Met Gala is held at the Metropolitan Museum, and since it's in New York, the city health department has a rule against smoking in specific areas as per their Health Act. But it seems that although this rule was still in effect at the time of the gala, some celebrities were like, nah, and had a couple ciggies inside regardless. The stars in question were posting their little rendezvous on social media, which is how they got caught and got into some trouble for it as well. As a result of their rule breaking, the gala as well as the health department put measures in place to make sure that this kind of thing never happened again so that no one would get fined. And finally, at number 1, Solange Knowles. The famous Solange versus Jay-Z elevator battle is one of those moments that will go down in history as one of the messiest celebrity moments. It was a lot to take in at the time because no one knew what was really going on or why this Avenger-style battle was even happening. The freakout slash fight slash battle to the death took place at the 2014 Met Gala, and though it took place so long ago, there still was never really any solid explanation for this scandal. Some speculate that it was because of a cheating scandal, others thought it could be money, but really there is no confirmed reason as to why the fight broke out. All we have to analyze from this is surveillance footage that was leaked to the internet that got this whole drama started. In the footage, we see Solange and Jay-Z begin what looked like a verbal disagreement, which then turned physical. My guess is that Solange was standing up for her sister and sort of flipped out on the rapper, and this, like I said, sparked cheating rumors, and then this then folded into Beyonce and Jay-Z's music, where again, infidelity was hinted at. Bottom line here is that this fight was explosive and caused a lot of drama. At number 10, Janet Jackson. I'm pretty sure this incident has gone down in history as one of the biggest TV scandals ever. The 2004 Super Bowl halftime show made history when those in the stadium as well as those watching at home watched a wardrobe malfunction unfold, which later turned into a much bigger deal than just being exposed in front of millions of viewers. Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake were performing together during the halftime show, and when a move went wrong, Janet's breasts ended up getting exposed, and this became the scandal of the year. The FCC sued CBS for the live incident in a $550,000 lawsuit citing indecent exposure for their cause. This was not only a big deal for the companies behind the broadcast of the Super Bowl, but also Janet Jackson because she was put through the ringer for her part in the whole scandal. As a result, her career took a massive hit. She was uninvited to the Grammy Awards that year, and her songs were even blacklisted from the radio. This scandal followed her for many years because even after things died down following this incident, the next few albums that she went on to release tanked because of her reputation following this live TV scandal. At number 9, Milli Vanilli. Back in the 90s, there was a huge music scandal that caused a lot of damage to both people's careers and their lives. The lip sync scandal that surrounded Milli Vanilli was one of music's biggest scandals at the time, and it revealed that their entire act was based on a lie and that everything was fake. This stage act was put together by German record producer Frank Farian as he attempted to create the biggest music stars. It worked in theory, but they faded away just as quickly as they rose to fame. Frank had a vision to be able to release amazing music, but he needed the perfect people to sell it, and that's where Morbid and Politis came into play. Frank hired these two dancers to be the faces of Milli Vanilli, and even though it was a musical act, they never had to sing. In fact, they lip-synced their entire career, though that career was short-lived. Their act became a hit and it worked for a while, even earning themselves a Grammy for the song Girl You Know It's True. But like all good things, they can never last. Milli Vanilli conquered the Billboard charts and they were asked to tour and perform live, but things started to get difficult for them since this act never really sang, and playing pretend on stage was starting to get more and more difficult. Eventually, they were caught in the act, so to speak, as their track suddenly stopped during a live performance, revealing that they were faking it all along. Now, before I carry on with the rest of the video, I've got a super special guest to come and tell you guys about a super cool channel that you should totally come check out.
Thank you so much, Bree. So, I am Court, and I am from a channel called Kick Back and React. We are a reaction and comedy channel, and instead of me just talking about it, here's a clip. Steam frog legs. Oh my gosh, the frog is whole! The frog is whole! Oh my god, it's oozing! It's oozing! It's oozing! Oh. Well, there you go. So make sure after watching this video, you head over there, check out a few videos, and subscribe.
At number 8, Sharon Osbourne. I think we all know that our words can really do a lot. They can make people feel better, create change, and they can also hurt people. For Sharon Osbourne, her words caused someone pain, and as a result, she landed in a scandal and was fired from her job at The Talk. After making some comments about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, Sharon faced backlash and caused uproar. This all went down on The View as Sharon Osbourne and Cheryl Underwood got into a heated argument surrounding Piers Morgan's remarks about Meghan Markle. During this feud, Sharon said that she agreed with some of Piers' comments about Meghan Markle's mental health, and this frustrated Cheryl because she didn't like the negative things that were being said about those involved. This very heated debate later prompted an internal investigation after it was alleged that Sharon had been making disrespectful comments about her fellow host as well. Sharon's comments led her to getting exposed for her ignorance and disrespect and led to her getting cancelled online.
In at number 7, we have O.J. Simpson. On June 17, 1994, the public was glued to their TV screens as a live broadcast of a police chase was all over the news. This was the day of the infamous O.J. Simpson police chase through Southern California. This was the biggest scandal on TV because he was the man that the public saw as an all-around cool guy. Having been a football legend, movie star, and TV pitchman was in this moment, on the run from police trying to avoid being arrested for ending the lives of 2 people. OJ was reportedly supposed to turn himself into the police for the crimes. But when he decided to flee instead, he was deemed a fugitive, and so the chase began. There were a swarm of TV helicopters broadcasting the whole thing, and around 95 million people tuned in to watch the event on TV that night. Soon OJ was apprehended, but this first scandal only marked the beginning of the media frenzy that was to come with the infamous O.J. Simpson trial.
At number 6, Sean Penn. Here's another example of words coming back to bite you. At the 2015 Academy Awards, Sean Penn was announcing the award for Best Picture. Before reading the name of the winner, Alejandro G. Iñárritu, he made a joke that no one laughed at. Before announcing Alejandro as the winner, Sean joked saying, quote, "Who gave this son of a bee his green card?" Sean's joke was seen as highly offensive and racist, as one person online explained, quote, "The struggles people endure for immigration justice are not punchlines," end quote. As Alejandro is Mexican, this joke was definitely uncalled for and inappropriate. Some defended Sean, saying that he only made the joke because they had been friends for about a decade, but others made the argument that, quote, "A director of color can't accept an Oscar without being the butt of a racist joke," end quote. The award show was supposed to be a scandal-free evening, but instead news outlets took to broadcasting Sean's offensive remark, and so many viewers at home were taken aback by what was said, once again leading to a scandal that really should never have happened in the first place.
And at number 5, Paula Deen. There was once a time where everyone was in love with Paula Deen. She was once the wholesome Southern mom who loved to cook. But after 2013, her public image was tarnished after a lawsuit revealed her racist actions to the world. Back then, Paula was facing legal action from one of her former employees who alleged that Paula was racist towards her and that she had been repeatedly harassed while working at one of her restaurants. After being deposed, the truth came out after Paula was asked if she had ever used the N-word, and she admitted to it. After this came out, things got worse for Paula and the backlash ensued. As anyone would do, Paula tried to control the situation and de-escalate it, and even sat down for an interview on the Today Show. But instead of owning up to her actions and trying to clear her name as most people would try to do, Paula insisted playing down the situation, deflected the blame, and even commented on how surprised she was that people were mad about what she did. It was thought that this interview was all for publicity, not for making a public apology, and after this, her career has never been the same.
At number 4, Sacha Baron Cohen. Sacha Baron Cohen is known for his wild characters and crazy improv. From Bruno to Borat, he seems to live most of his life in character, and this was seemingly no exception at the Academy Awards in 2012. Sacha came to the event and walked the red carpet in character as Admiral General Shabazz al-Din from his film The Dictator, and along with being accompanied by 2 bodyguards, he carried a pretty bizarre prop with him, a golden urn filmed with the ashes of North Korean Premier Kim Jong-il. While walking the red carpet, he stopped to be interviewed by Ryan Seacrest, and then this happened. Sacha dumped the ashes on Ryan, ruining his suit and causing a scene, and later a bit of a scandal. Weeks later, we found out that Sacha's original target was George Clooney, but since it was a big night for him at the Academy Awards, they skipped Clooney and the unfortunate prank landed on Ryan instead. A lot of people thought that Sacha went too far with that bit, and he faced some hate and criticism as a result. Everyone watched the moment unfold, and it was pretty embarrassing, so it's no wonder that after that, Ryan refused to interview Sacha again.
And at number 3, Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj is known to take creative liberties, but her 2012 Grammy performance may have gone a little bit too far. At the award show that night, the rapper seemingly dedicated the evening to promoting her new song Roman Holiday, as she filled her night with references to Catholicism. First, she walked the red carpet, accompanied by someone portraying the Pope, but the whole theme really came together during her live performance, where she depicted a mock confessional, an exorcism, and danced alongside people dressed as altar boys and monks. Nicki's performance was creative, but was also deemed controversial, as it really angered the Catholic League. The league's president had a lot to say about the performance, calling it vulgar and questioning how the performance got approved and saying, quote, "Whether Minaj is possessed is surely an open question, but what is not in doubt is the irresponsibility of the Recording Academy. Never would they allow an artist to insult Judaism or Islam," end quote. Nicki said that this was part of a character that she had been writing a backstory for, as this character was set to play a more significant role in her music to come. She faced some of the backlash for the whole ordeal, but it clearly wasn't enough to completely cancel her.
In at number 2, Kanye West. I think we all know that Kanye West is an outspoken dude. No matter the circumstance or setting, Kanye will do whatever he wants when he feels like it and won't apologize for any of it. One example of this has to come from his commentary on the situation in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina hit Louisiana back in 2005. After the devastating storm passed through the area, celebrities were gathered to do a televised fundraiser to help those affected. Teleprompters were set up for the stars to read statements and encourage people to donate, but Kanye decided to Kanye it up a bit and add some of his own thoughts to the situation.
I've even been shopping before even giving a donation, so now I'm calling my business manager right now to see what is the biggest amount I can give.
Kanye went on a tangent about how he feels for the people affected, especially black families struggling to stay safe and fed, saying that he wanted to donate as much as he could to the cause. He went on for a while, and after he passed it back to Mike Myers, who he was presenting with, Kanye took the attention back to then say the infamous line,
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
They immediately cut the broadcast from them and went over to someone else, and Kanye's remarks were made famous, but probably not in the best way.
And in at number 1, Britney Spears and Madonna. Can you believe it's been 18 years since Britney Spears and Madonna blew people's minds when they kissed live on stage at the MTV Awards? After Britney, Madonna, and Christina Aguilera opened the show with a performance, they did something that was considered pretty bold at the time. And Britney and Madonna shared a kiss. The moment was broadcasted by cameras that were cut for a brief moment, so those watching at home didn't see the whole thing, but the other people in the audience sure did. The camera did a brief pan out of the room when the kiss happened, and people were stunned, taken back, and losing their minds over what was going on stage. This kiss made headlines as expected. People talked about it, and it caused it to be a much bigger deal than it really should have been. Either way, looking back on it now, so many years later, I have to say, that was pretty epic.